$293. You want to sing the whole thing, Tom? Okay, Tom wants to sing the whole thing, verses 1 and 2. Then we'll move to the welcome. Please join me in the welcome. Welcome to the United Church. We are a peace and justice community, a movement towards wholeness in a fragmented world. Together we create a strong sense of belonging, a safe place to flourish, and opportunities to grow in our own way and in our own time. So before we do our justice moment, I want to do a little housekeeping. We're having a new member welcoming ceremony later in the service. So the people who let me know they wanted to become new members are not here, cannot get here today. But I wonder if there's anyone here who did not let me know that you wanted to join. Okay, so we'll put the new member ceremony back a week. Thank you for that. Now for the social justice moment.
Donna reminded me earlier this morning, blessed are the flexible, so that's a good example. I am standing in for Warren today. He didn't want to come and make you all sick. So I have an action that I think is incredibly important, and then a justification for the actions that we do, why they are so important to do. So the action, and there are little slips being passed out, is to oppose the Make Elections Great Again Act. This is essentially pulling us back to Jim Crow. The bill takes over states' constitutional authority to administer elections. It imposes needless and expensive voting restrictions like the old poll tax. And it's designed to take away the vote from millions of US citizens. In other words, it's a Jim Crow law. And this is in the name of fighting nearly non-existent election fraud. So this is a really important thing to write to your senators, or email or call your senators and representatives about. Now, the reason we do this, it works. So there are several good news things that Warren wanted me to announce. First of all, India and China's coal power generation has begun to fall. Has restricted immigration enforcement activity at courthouses and is protecting access to child care for immigrants, and is opening a way for residents whose rights were violated to sue federal agents. So go Illinois. And the final one.
Yeah, go Illinois.
Final one is close to my heart because, you know, our state in all its wisdom decided to take up the important issue of banning rainbow crosswalks. And if you followed some of the battles around that, in Orlando, for instance, right outside of the Pulse nightclub where 50 LGBTQ members, people who were there were killed not that long ago. There has been a big battle where, you know, people would come in and paint the rainbow crosswalks one day, and then at night, the streets department would paint it out. So now they're doing it with chalk every day, going out and painting it. But St. Petersburg took a different approach, and I think this is a good example of going home by another way, as that song that we sing talks about. St. Petersburg has decided to install Pride-inspired bike racks, rainbow bike racks. So there's another, you know, how many things you can ban. So anyway, so those are all examples of things that our, you know, writing, well, maybe not the one in India and China, but you know, our writing to our senators and our representatives, you know, it makes a difference. It does change things. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Let's bring in the light of Christ. And I also invite the kids, if you'd like to put your candles on the table. And if you want to hit the gong, the steel drum, you're welcome to. You can do it again. Do it so you can hear it. And you can go to the kitchen if you'd like to for your lesson. Hear our cry, hear us pray, our faces down, our hands are raised. You called us out, you turned away, you turned away. Shipwrecked faith, the idols rise. We do what is right in our own eyes. Our children now pay the price. We need your light, Lord, shine your light. If we've ever needed you, yes, it's now. Yes, it's now. We are desperate for your hand. We're reaching out. We're reaching out. All our hearts, all our strength, with all our minds, on our knees. May your kingdom come with your hearts and lives. Let your church arise. Let your church arise. If we've ever needed you, yes, it's now. Yes, it's now. We are desperate for your hand. We're reaching out. We're reaching out. If we've ever needed you, yes, it's now. Yes, it's now. We are desperate for your hand. We're reaching out. We're reaching out. If we've ever needed you, yes, it's now. Yes, it's now. We are desperate for your hand. We're reaching out. We're reaching out. We're reaching out. We need you now. Revive us now. We need you now. We'll have to give the kids another chance with the drum. I'm really, really grateful to be here in this safe and sacred space. For the past couple of weeks, whenever I've thought about being here, especially Sunday mornings, my mind keeps returning to the balm of Gilead. It soothes a sin-sick soul. Last Sunday, I was away. I was attending the Southern Lights Conference as part of my quest for continuing education. So thank you for your generosity, which makes that possible. Makes it possible for me to attend in person rather than by Zooming in. I really appreciate it. Southern Lights is an annual event which is hosted by Diana Butler Bass and Brian McLaren. It's a religious event. This year's speakers included Rosemary Watola Tromer, who is an amazing poet. Reverend Dr. Jennifer Harvey, whose focus is on creating space for justice-filled transformative connections. Rabbi Or Rose, I thought it was like a choice. Either call me Rabbi or call me Rose. But his first name really is Or. Rabbi or Rose. Was also there. And his focus is interreligious learning and leadership. And the keynote was Jamar Tisby, whose focus is racial justice, U.S. history, and Christianity. And Jamar Tisby does not hold back. And as you might guess, each one of the speakers boldly and openly addressed where we are today as a divided and divisive United States. Jamar Tisby offered 5 ways for us to respond to the 24/7, speaking for myself, chaos that I feel like I'm immersed in. So I'm going to take a few minutes to pass those on. And for a little context, right before Jamar stepped on stage, he received a text that Alex Preddy had been shot. And then he shared the news with the group, who obviously were at a conference and not, on our cell phones. And then he gave us a moment to lament, process, and pray. He then went on to remind us that we've been here before. All of these tragic, chaotic events, including the cruelty and the terror and the trauma, is at our historical core. And one important way we can respond to that is by telling the truth. Now, truth telling can be multifaceted and it can be complex, and we're going to come back to that. But in this current context, Jamar's reminder to tell the truth felt prophetic, especially when I heard Alex Preddy's parents first ask. Their first response was, tell the truth about our son. Tell the truth about our son. Tell the truth, confront the lies, correct the facts. Jamar then went on to talk about the work of Ida B. Wells, whose life mission was to tell the truth about lynchings. If you don't know about Ida B. Wells, make it your business to learn about Ida B. Wells. Because we've been here before, and she models the way forward, which was the next way to respond that Jamar offered. We, the people of the United States, have been here before, and we are surrounded by teachers, wisdom teachers, and leaders who have survived. That is a lament, and that is a confession. We've been here before, and we are surrounded by the wisdom. God help us. That's a petition. Jamar suggests we stop looking everywhere else for survival tips and instead make it our intention to learn from the Black, Latinx, Indigenous, Japanese, LGBT, Vietnamese, Jewish, marginalized, persecuted, on and on the list goes. Learn from your neighbors. He pointed out that there's currently a lot of chatter about the similarities between the United States and Nazi Germany. A lot of energy is expended looking over there. This is the truth. Nazi Germany trained here in these United States. We are the ones who taught them in the Black, Latinx, Indigenous, Japanese, LGBT, Vietnamese, Jewish communities learned how to survive. Let us make it our intention to learn from the teachers among us. Another way to respond is to create new institutions when old institutions no longer serve us. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that includes churches. Right here in these United States, when churches would not allow people of color to come in, people of color created their own churches. When academia refused to allow Black students in, the Black community created their own learning institutions, and banks, and businesses. Tell the truth, there are teachers among us, create new institutions, be like Zacchaeus. Be Be a Zacchaeus kind of Christian. Everything I remember about Zacchaeus is he was a wee little man. It ain't about stature. It's not about our bodies. He made reparations. When Zacchaeus recognized the truth about his complicity in an unjust system, he lamented, he confessed, and he made a commitment to reparations. Be a Zacchaeus kind of Christian. And the final way to respond to the events of this day is to embrace and embody the ways of non-violence. So, if the budget passes, should I say when the budget passes at our annual meeting, I'm dedicating the continuing education funds that you all make available to a year-long course with the Meta Center on non-violence. That's my intention. So let's return to truth-telling. Renee Good and Alex Preddy are not the only victims of its broken institutions of immigration enforcement and border control. There are at least 9 others, and I don't really even trust that count. But I only know 9. So we're going to say their names too. And after we share their names, will you go on to the next slide? That was kind of out of order, but we can deal with that, right, Kathy?
All the time.
After we say their names, we're going to share a ritual of hope and healing. So you might have noticed that the Creative Arts team has set up the tables a little bit differently today. There are 4 different stations, and they don't have to be engaged in order. Actually, they're set up kind of out of order. So this is, Alfie, you want to come light a candle as we talk about each area? And as a side note, if you are not comfortable getting up and moving about the space, the spaces can be brought to you. So this is the area of lament. When you come to this sacred space, you are invited to create tears by putting a pinch of water, a pinch of salt in the water and stirring it. And as you do that, you're invited to speak your laments. Say what you're lamenting. Don't set those on fire because they're battery operated. Go that way, Alfie. That's the table of confession where you write down your hopes. That's where you write down your hopes, yay, Tom, and your fears. So there's sticky notes, and you can put your hopes and fears on those boards that are sitting in the pews. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. So that's the area of confession. And in the very back, keep in mind there is a microphone back there. So everything you guys say in the back row is broadcast as a friendly reminder. At the table of petition, you are invited to ask for wisdom, ask for guidance, ask for inspiration. And then you can blow into one of the little pinwheels that are away as a way of releasing your prayers. And then here by the piano is the table of intention. This is an opportunity to say out loud something you'd like to do to move us and our faith forward. Thank you, Alfie. And as you state your intentions, you're invited to sprinkle the colored sand and mix it in. Take a rock with you as a reminder if you'd like to. This would also be your time to leave your offering, leave your prayer request. You're welcome to hit the steel drum if you'd like to. That might seal your intention. Okay, now, Kathy, we can go back to the slide where we say their names. And I am going to sound the drum. We'll see how I do with drumming. We'll say the names together, and then you're invited to get up and move about this space. Alex Perry, Renee Good, Keith Ford, Heber Sanchez Dominguez, Victor Manuel Diaz, Parade Lon, Luis Beltran Yanez, Luis Gustavo Yanez Castellanos, Geraldo Lunas Ramos. Please come up and engage the ritual as you are comfortable. Please join me in the silent response. We'll do 1 and 4. There is a hungry Gilead, bring the wounded home. There is a hungry Gilead, to heal the sin-sick soul. Come down His courage and make my works in vain. Again, the Holy Spirit, bring us the soul again. Come unto me, you weary ones, and I will give you rest. Come read the word, take my arms, and lay upon my breast. Because the exaltation of spirits to be found, we learn wisdom to be There is a balm to make the wounded whole. There is a balm in Gilead to heal the sin-sick soul.
Sacred wisdom from Rumi. A cloud weeps, and then the garden sprouts. A baby cries, and the mother's milk flows. The nurse of creation has said, let them cry a lot. This rain weeping and sun burning twine together to make us grow. Keep your intelligence white hot and your grief glistening, so your life will stay fresh, cry easily like a little child. Stay with friends who support you in these. Talk to them about sacred texts and how you're doing and how they're doing, and keep your practices together. The sacred story, a parable of the mustard seed, the peace table, a storybook Bible. Jesus told the people a parable. The kingdom of God is like a mustard seed, the smallest of all seeds. Someone digs into the rich soil of a field, plants the seed, and waters it. The warm sun shines down. The seed slowly grows and grows. The roots spread deep and wide. The trunk grows thick and strong. Branches reach toward the sky. Leaves appear and yellow flowers blossom on the tips of the branches. The tiny seed becomes a great tree. Then birds come from near and far, different colors, shapes, and sizes. They build nests in the branches. Mother birds lay their eggs. They all sing together to welcome the baby birds.
The birds come from near and far in all shapes and sizes. Flittering, fluttering, hovering, mothering. That line from Jesus' parable reminded me of something that happened here shortly after I arrived in the sacred space. So I want to begin the sharing of this story with a reminder about truth-telling. Because we live in a culture which believes that truth is narrow and absolute. And the truth is there are other understandings. For example, the Hebrew symbol for truth is made up of 3 characters from the Hebrew alphabet. It is and this one goes right to left. The first letter of the Hebrew alphabet, the middle letter of the Hebrew alphabet, the last letter. And what that symbolizes is truth is somewhere in the middle. The Chinese symbol, I know I've shown this to you over and over for the last 13, 14 years. At the top, that cross represents 10, which in the Chinese tradition is the number of perfection. Underneath it is the symbol for eye, sitting on a table. 10 eyes around a table is where the truth is found. So, it is in the Chinese or Hebrew context that I share my version of our story. And I appreciate none of the fact that others of you will tell the story differently. So way back in the day, maybe 2010-ish, Alfie and I began attending this church because the church we were attending, Pilgrim Congregational United Church of Christ at Pomona Park, left the denomination. So Alfie came as his own fabulous candle lighting self. And I came as a student in care, a seminary student in care of the United Church of Christ. Now, Alfie and I had visited this church a few times before. We came over for some special events when Reverend Bonnie Lipton was the pastor here. In the year 2010-ish, when we came over here to become members, Reverend Steve Heath was the pastor. A few months after we arrived, Reverend Steve resigned. I don't remember the congregation forming a search committee or a visioning committee or working on the profile which is required by the UCC. I imagine that had already been done. What I do remember is being asked by a small group of folks if I would provide pulpit supply, which meant would I preach on Sundays, which I did. One Sunday, shortly after that arrangement started, someone who was still connected to this congregation came up to me and said, "You're going to think I'm crazy, but..." I love it when sentences start that way, because usually I don't think you're crazy at all. She says, "You're going to think I'm crazy, but when we were worshiping, I saw a little light flitting." She was pointing at that window because she was sitting like over there. A little light flitting. It was fluttering around outside the window like a little bird looking in, wanting in. She says, "I think it was the Holy Spirit." Time passes. Pulpit supply led to a part-time call for me to serve as pastor. So now it's probably late 2011-ish, maybe 2012-ish. a few years after part-time pastoring, I asked for a pay raise. Oh, well, we're truth-telling here, aren't we? I insisted. I insisted. And a few people in the congregation were so frightened that they threatened to leave the church if the congregation approved the pay raise at the annual meeting. Don't worry, I didn't ask for another pay raise. That's not what this is about. The congregation did approve the pay raise, and the frightened people did get up and walk out, and I think they walked out before the meeting was over. That was uncomfortable. So, the last item on a business agenda is normally, is there any other business for the good of the church? An open question. And when that question was asked, Bill Wieland, may he rest in peace, who was attending the meeting as a visitor, stood up. Bill was a UCC minister, and he was a representative of the Florida Disaster Response Team. And he asked the congregation if we would consider hosting a group of volunteers to assist with hurricane recovery. Hosting meant, could the volunteers stay here in the church? And after a little discussion, the congregational response was, yes, but. Yes, but we don't have hot water in the bathrooms. Yes, but we don't have a kitchen sink. And Bill said, don't worry about that. No problem. Within a matter of days, workers from St. Johns County came to this place, installed and paid for a hot water heater, a kitchen sink, ran the hot water over to the bathrooms in the kitchen sink, and outdoors too, if I'm not mistaken, because, the Red Cross brought showers in. I continue to find that miraculous because my experience with counties is they're typically rather slow moving. Sorry if any of you are county workers. And, they're more likely to charge a fee than give something for free. So to me, it was just miraculous. And if I'm not mistaken, it was at the very same meeting where we raised money for these floors. So as I watched this unfold, I thought back about the "you're gonna think I'm crazy" vision. I thought back about that colorful little spirit flitting, hovering outside the window looking in, and I wondered if perhaps she had come on in. A few years later, the church obviously had not died and was well on the way to paying a just wage, which is fabulous. And the wife of one of our members, the member attended the church, the wife did not attend the church, but the wife of one of our members called me. And she said, I want to make an investment in this church. And I don't remember the details because my role was not working out the details. My role was getting her connected to leadership. What I do remember is she gifted this church with $10,000 a year for 3 years, with stipulations that we save some of it for a rainy day, that we use some of it for the building up of this community, which we did. During that 3-year gift-giving time period, AT&T began talking to us about putting the cell phone tower back in that 40, if you will. And I remember leadership being rightly cautious. Let's don't get our hopes up. Sounds good, but it probably won't happen. And guess what? It did happen. We began receiving rent for that cell phone tower about the same time that 3-year gift stopped. And the spirit, she is flitting, flirting. She's hovering. And at this point on the journey, it seemed to me that she was both inside this space and outside the space. 5 years ago, this congregation was being resurrected after COVID. COVID was weird, right? It was just weird. It was odd, it was confusing, it was uncomfortable, it was disturbing, and it ignited this congregation. We got creative. Who here ever imagined they'd be filming themselves, making videos? We all learned how to make videos, didn't we? We worshiped together. We had parties where we all wore silly hats. Remember the time we did that? We brought noisemakers. We Zoomed a lot. Our eyes were open to the gift of the online community. We got over our fear, most of us, of technology. And it also taught, when we began gathering again, to keep both doors open, right? So the air can flow. Now, we're not going to do it today. There are exceptions because it's like 10 degrees outside, I think. But since COVID, we have kept both doors open. And when I think again about that little spirit, I feel like she's just moving in and out and around and through and flowing freely throughout this space. When I think about this story from the big picture, this is what I see. Groups of people seriously, diligently, and sometimes fearfully planning. And the Spirit fluttering and fulfilling the promises of Epiphany, showing up in surprising ways. May we never lose sight of that pattern. May we never lose sight. This is what the kingdom is like. Little seeds become strong, generous trees, and the birds come in from near and far. Amen. So we will not be doing the welcoming of new members, but we will be singing our closing song, having a gathering circle, sharing a different kind of communion today, and then we'll have our annual meeting. And I hope you all will be able to stay. You're invited to get a noisemaker if you want to. Oh, we should probably invite the kids in, shouldn't we? Althea, you want to invite, or Kathy or somebody?
I got it.
Okay, Kathy will bring the kids in.
Get ready to do the closing song.
are invited into the closing circle. This is your opportunity to let food behind you or get in the circle. This is your opportunity to share a thought, a word, or a takeaway with each other.
I just wanted to say, on behalf of the Latino community, we are very broken. And I am broken at what is occurring in this country. How my community is being persecuted. And you shouldn't have to fear being killed for being a voice, for protecting your neighbor, for speaking out on injustices in your community. And I just want to thank everyone here because this is my safe place.
Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah, I want to express my my gratitude to Donna and to all the congregation for choosing to light the candle rather than curse the darkness and make this the little church that could. That said, I'd like to single out Warren for a moment. I really appreciate Rochelle, who works hand in hand and brought today's social justice moment to us. Each week he paints the yellow brick road for us. He tells us, gives us concrete suggestions about what we can do and how to do it. And in so doing, he applies Jesus' teachings and serves the cause of social justice. And that's why I'm excited, because in 2 weeks, Warren is going to do a special presentation in which he both presents and leads a discussion about African American history in St. Augustine. But it will be uniquely Warren's creation. Because remember, Warren is not just an accomplished movement organizer and pastor and author. He's also an enormously accomplished artist, illustrator.
Thank you.
And so this will be, I think you'll find this, because I've had a little preview of coming attractions here, to bring the bumps and grinds and inspiration of African American history alive.
Thank
Here,
you,
2
Dale.
weeks from today, so mark your calendar. It'll follow right after the service.
Thank you, Dale.
I just want to say the kids, Miss Chelsea and I, had a big time today being whirlwinds of love.
Yes. Thank you, Connie. Thank you. Any other thoughts, takeaways?
I have kind of a thought takeaway and an announcement. This is, again, remember we have the yard sale coming up. But I just wanted everyone to know that those lovely dividers that we put up to mask the congregation, all the music and everything when we set up for the yard sale, those were a gift of
Yes.
the time when we had people staying here.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so, it's and the grill in the back.
The girl. All right, well, if there isn't anything further, let's say the benediction, let's eat some goodies, and let's have a meeting. Right, Ron, wherever you are?
Here I am, yes, we will.
Okay. We are blessed and we are blessings. We go in peace.
Kids in the shower, that's why I don't.
Yeah. We do, so we call one of these Sundays.
Yeah.